79 here. It's been a while since I came at you guys with a review. So here we are in my humble basement because my upstairs is full right now, and I figured I'd come down here and shoot a review for the mini E-Revo VXL because you guys have been asking, quite a few of you have been asking for a review on the MERV, as I like to call it, as most people call it, as a MERV, because mini E-Revo is just a pain in the butt to type out and say. So first off, it comes with the 27 MHz motor if you buy the version I bought. Most of them now come with the 2.4 gig radio. And the 2.4 gig Traxxas radios are actually really good. So if you guys are wondering if the 2.4 gig Traxxas radios are good, yes they are. Don't let anybody tell you different just because they say, oh, Spectrum's better, the Futaba's better, whatever. Yeah, those radios are better, but they also cost a shitload of money. So the Traxxas 2.4 gig radios will do you just fine unless you're out there racing or some shit like that, or you don't need to go over the top all the time. So, if you guys get the version with the 2.4 gig radio, the radio's great. These radios, they're not bad. Unless you got somebody else on the same frequency as you, then they're bad. But other than that, they got great range. They have the same range as the 2.4 gig radios, if not more. So they're not bad. So if you have to get one with the 27 gig or 27 MHz radio, that's fine. I do like the car quite a bit, but there's a big but there. It breaks a lot, so it needs upgrades. I've had mine for a long time, and I don't drive it that much because it does break quite a bit. Would I still recommend the car? Hell frickin' yeah. I mean, I love the heck out of this car. It is fun to drive. It is a blast. Doesn't take a lot of room. Has a lot of power. Goes over terrain decently. It's a great little car. It's a fun car. It's great for somebody that's starting out because you can use we'll get into the batteries later, but the ESC has different settings, and it has the beginner setting, the middle setting, which is I believe no reverse, but the first setting is 50% power, 50% brake. So at least I do believe that's what it is. It's 50% power, so you're not going to go as fast. So somebody's just starting out, they can get used to the car. Then there's the race mode or whatever Traxxas wants to call it. Then there's one with no brake on it, which is fine too. But if you're out bashing, you kind of want to have a brake because you want to be able to reverse because you might get into those situations. But anyway, it's a great car. I've done some upgrades to mine. I did have another shell on it, but it doesn't fit on there very well. These shells, they're great, but the only thing I found is if you come down your lid a lot, you will start to smash your wires. And that's what I started to do, and they started to get exposed a little bit, so I put electrical tape on them. So you might want to get like one of the roll cages for them or something, or just a different body. Like I have my bug body, and that should be fine. I just don't like the bug body that much, so I don't run it very often. This got plenty of power. These things are fast as hell. I don't know the exact speed, so don't be asking me in the comments what the speed is on it, because I don't frickin' know. It's fast. That's all you need to know. It's as fast as what you need it for. You don't need it to be any faster. You don't need to put some friggin' Mamba Monster Max or some shit in it. I've noticed people with RCs lately, that's all they want to do is make them go fast. And it's like, okay, so you got a fast RC. What are you going to do with it? You just going to go in a straight line? Because that's about all you can do. But anyway, it is a little bit too light. It tends to roll. So one of the things that I found that did help out quite a bit was, and with the grip and everything on it, is I put the Proline, I do believe they're Dirt Hog tires, on the beadlock rims, and these things are freaking great. They handle like no other on pavement and just about any surface out there. So I highly do recommend, actually I'd say it's a must. If you're going to get a mini E-Revo, I'm just going to say MERV from now on. If you're going to get a MERV, definitely need to get one of these. Another upgrade you are definitely going to need is steel CVDs. They're by Traxxas. Get the Traxxas ones. Don't get any of the other ones. The other ones just are, they're aluminum and they're going to bend. Traxxas does make the best steel CVDs. I know there's, what was it? That's not Golden Horizon, but there's some other ones out there that are GPM, not as good. Don't get the GPM ones. You got to get the Traxxas steel CVD set. Yeah, they're expensive. They're about $50, and you do have to take apart your front and rear diffs to install them. But the nice thing about them is you can have replacement parts with the GPMs and stuff like that. There is no replacement parts. See, with these, if you break them or bend them, you just buy the axle, stick it in. You don't have to buy the whole set again, unlike you do with the GPMs and all that. So the Traxxas ones will save you money in the long run. Another thing I did to mine was I dyed the chassis black. So when you get yours, or if you already have one, that's why my chassis is black. I took it out, dyed it with RIT dye. If you guys want to know how to do that, I might post a video on that. If you guys want to know how to do dyeing your plastic parts, if you want to make them black. I've never done any other colors, just black. Another thing I'd go with is the, let's see, what else would I get? Well, I got the tires, springs, new springs. The springs that come with it are not nearly stiff enough. I mean, your Eevo will be sitting like that sometimes. But so I went with the newer springs that just came out. They are for the Traxxas Summit, or supposedly for the Traxxas Summit. We all know that Traxxas has this 1/16 platform in just about damn near any car you can think of now, because Traxxas is the king of re-releases. They just put a new body on it, slap some new tires on it, and charge the same price and say it's a totally different car, and it's not. So, yeah. But some of the cars are cool looking, like the Gymkhana Ford Fiesta Focus. I don't know what the hell it is. Focus Hack. But I got the purple rated springs, and what a lot of people do is do the black rated springs in the front, or black rated springs in the rear, and tan rated springs in the front. I went with the purple because I wanted the stiffest springs I could get for this thing, and they do tend to be pretty good. See, you're still, that's the stiffest spring, and I do have my shocks set. They're not tightened down all the way, so you know I could tighten them up more and make the car a little stiffer. But if it's stiffer, then it doesn't land as good. It doesn't jump as good. You don't want something that's just so damn rigid where it sits like this all the time. You know, and you're not gonna have any give or any play. You gotta have some sway for turning and stuff like that. And the purple springs do allow this. Let's see. The other thing I go with is, what I want to go with because I keep breaking chassis, is Delrin braces for the front, Delrin chassis braces for the front and the back. You can get those. I did go with the, God, why can't I think right now? The long travel rockers on mine. There you go, for the Summit, but I put the long travel rockers on this. So, gives you a little bit more leeway this way. That's not going to, you know, bottom out as bad with the long travel rockers. It does handle a little bit better in my opinion. Let's see. What else would I do to this thing? I plan on getting, of course, RPM A-arms. I've never broken A-arm though. That's surprising. I've broken a lot of other stuff, but I haven't broken A-arms. So I would go with RPM A-arms. The push rods, if RPM has those, I'm not sure yet, but I would get those if RPM has them. There are aluminum ones out there, but you know, well, it is a little bit too light still, in my opinion. So you could get some aluminum on there. They're going to be heavier than the plastic push rods for right now. Let's see here, guys. I'm trying to think. Maybe you want to get a wheelie bar for it. That wouldn't be a bad idea. It does tend to wheelie a lot. Steel hub carriers. I would get those for sure. Not steel hub carriers, aluminum hub carriers. I would get those for sure. Because these ones tend to have a lot of play. I mean, look at this. That wheel moves quite a bit. Look at this one. Look at all that play in that thing. That's a lot of play. That's slop that you don't need in the car. It won't handle as good, but see, it does bottom out still with the purple springs. But I can tighten up my shocks, and it'll be better if I do that. But I like it the way it is right now. It does seem to handle really good. I might want it a little stiffer after driving it today, especially when I have the GoPro on top there, which is the footage you guys just saw. And then I'm gonna throw up a video of me and my girlfriend just goofing off on the way to Hobbytown, just testing out the GoPro here and there. When I did the GoPro video, the car might not seem that fast because I'm having a problem with my ESC. Like I said, I've had it for a while though. But it's not wanting to let me run my batteries in series. It's only wanting to let my batteries run in parallel, which is not right. So I'm going to call Traxxas up and be like, hey, I got a faulty ESC, you know. Or I might just try and reset it and see if that fixes the problem. So let's move on to, well, you might want to get aluminum battery doors. I've broken one of those too. I would go, you know, this thing does need a lot of upgrades. I would get aluminum, why can't I think of anything today? I'm just having a brain fart. It's been a long day. Aluminum shock towers, excuse me. And I would also get steel center drive shaft. I definitely would get that. I've stripped the drive shaft a few times on this. And it's better if you guys can get everything at one time, because this thing's a pain in the butt to work on. In my opinion, it's a pain in the ass to work on. Like when you put in the CVDs, the steel CVDs, you have to take apart the front and rear differential, which is a pain. It takes forever. I mean, because there's so many parts hooked to it that it's crazy. And for the steel Delrin, or for the Delrin chassis braces, I would, if you can't afford both of them, definitely get the rear one, because this thing comes down the rear a lot, and you will be snapping the rear of the chassis. I've done it a few times, and I've had to put a whole new chassis on, and that's just a pain in the ass. So the more things you can buy at once, the better. I don't know if I'd get any extra bumpers or anything like that. Maybe some RPM bumpers, I guess. The steering servo is great. You know, it's not bad at all. You could upgrade it, but I bash. You know, I don't really need to upgrade anything unless I break it. So, but yeah, the steel drive shaft. Other than that, you know, it's pretty good. It's a really good car. Once you get all those upgrades on it, the car will be a freaking bulletproof little rocket, because these things are fast. But anyway, as I was saying, I kind of got sidetracked. When I was shooting the video on the HD GoPro that you guys just saw, I was using the stock Traxxas batteries, 1200 mAh, 7.2 volt NIMH batteries. And I was running them in parallel, like I said, because I couldn't run them in series. So that's why it may have seemed a little bit slow. But when you do run them in parallel, you get not 1200 mAh, but you get the combined total of the batteries, which is 2400 mAh. So you're going to have longer run times, still plenty of power depending on what you want to do. If you run them in series, you get double the voltage, which is 14.4 volts, and you know, it is noticeably faster. You can do standing backflips and stuff like that. And a lot of people, but you won't get the runtime, won't be as much. And I also have this in there. But in my opinion, just one LiPo in it, it's a light. You know, LiPos are really light. And just having one doesn't seem to give the car enough weight. So I like to run the Traxxas ones more. And they're heavier, and they're cheaper. But I like to run them because they're heavier, because it keeps the car more balanced, because think about it. You got a battery on each side, giving it more weight, keeping it on the ground. If you run just the 11.1 volt 3-cell LiPo, you can't run 2. If you run just 1, the car's not going to be as balanced. I mean, you could put one of these in there, but then it still wouldn't be balanced, and it's not going to be as heavy. Alright, third thing about the batteries that people have very, very misconstrued conceptions on. You cannot stock with this ESC safely without burning it out. You can't do it in LiPo mode, so therefore you sure as hell shouldn't do it. You can do it in NIMH mode, but you will ruin your ESC most likely. You cannot run 2 7.4 volt LiPos in this thing. It cannot be done. Intended by Traxxas, you are not supposed to run more than 14.4 volts to this car. That's what the ESC is rated at. And if you try and run 7.4 volt LiPos in series, you can run them in parallel. You can run the 7.4 volt batteries in parallel. You cannot run them in series. People are running them in series on their YouTube videos, but that is because they have it in NIMH mode. That's asking for some trouble. You could burn up your LiPos, which costs money, or you could burn up your ESC, which costs money. So just don't do that. You don't need your car any damn faster than the 11.1 volt 1300 milliamp battery. You don't need anything faster than that. It does standing backflips. Come on, really? Do you need to get any faster? And 2 of these, I think, is the perfect amount. You can buy, I think these things are only like $15 or something like that, so you can buy a bunch of them. It only comes with 1, mind you, so I bought a second one as soon as I bought the car. But yeah, guys, that's about it for the review on this thing. The parallel and series connectors do not come with the batteries. What I mean by that is I'll show, well, they don't come with the they don't come with the car. But what these do is, I don't know if you can see this, but these 2 go to your batteries on the sides. This is a parallel connector. As you'll notice, there's 2 red wires. This runs the batteries in parallel. The series connector has 1 red wire, and it runs the batteries in series. It operates the batteries as 1 battery total for the voltage. But like I said, in series, your run times go down. Me, personally, I run it in series when I can. Unfortunately, it's not working right now, but I run it in series when I can because that's the power range I like. The 11.1 volt, it may be a little bit faster, just because it's a LiPo. It may be a little bit faster than the NIMH batteries run in series. The NIMH batteries do have more voltage, but you got to keep in mind with NIMH batteries, your voltage drops a lot quicker. So you're only getting that 14.4 volts for a very short time. With this, with a LiPo, you constantly get 11.1 volts. Until the battery goes dead, you're getting 11.1 volts. That's why I think it's funny when people say on reviews or something like that, well, my battery was only halfway charged. It doesn't matter. With a LiPo, you get the same amount of volts till the end. But anyway, guys, that is the review on the Mini E-Revo. It's a great car. I do like it. Congratulations to one of my subscribers that just bought the brush version. You're going to love the car. It does need upgrades. You're not going to need upgrades as quick, though, because yours isn't as fast, and you're not going to run into stuff like crazy and break parts like mad. So, brush may be the way to go if you can't afford to do all the upgrades. But it's a great car, guys. There's thousands of parts out there. Just go to thetoys.com, and they have all kinds of parts. And definitely go to Proline and get these tires and wheels. I do believe you can get them for $30 a set. That's for 2. So $60 in total, I think, is what you can get them for, which is not bad because they are beadlocks. They're quite nice. And the Dirt Hog tires are amazing. They grip on street, dirt, grass, everything you want. So guys, then, like I said, aluminum shock towers, steel CVDs, long travel rockers, perforated springs, and you're just about good to go with the Mini E-Revo. If you do those things, in my opinion, that's what needs to be done to the car. And if you do that to the car, you'll have one solid little car. And it's a blast to drive. Like I said, you don't have to worry about a crap load of space because, you don't have a 1/8 vehicle, a 1/8 scale vehicle out there, or even a 1/10. This is 1/16. And they're great cars. I am going to get the new, the Losi Mini 8 is what I do believe it's called, and possibly the Savage Flux XS. But I'm not too sure about the Savage Flux XS because it's impressive, but I wasn't super impressed with it. I thought there was going to be more aluminum on it. There's hardly any aluminum anywhere on it. And I don't know. I was expecting more out of the Savage Flux XS, the mini Savage Flux, but you know, I might still buy it anyway. I probably will, actually, but the new Losi Mini 8 looks freaking phenomenal. Aluminum chassis, everything. I do believe it's a 1/14 scale too, so it'll probably be about the size of this. So, but yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. There'll be more videos up pretty soon. My Savage Flux is getting, not my Savage Flux, my Savage 4.6. I'm putting a new spur gear in it. That's what happened. If you've ever watched the review or whatever on the Savage 4.6, I said I was having problems. I didn't even notice my spur gear was stripped. I mean, that thing was bare to the frickin' bone. But we'll go into that when well, actually, I might as well tell you right now. If you guys get the Savage 4.6, get a metal spur gear, because that thing strips like that. I had that car maybe for about 10-15 tanks, and my spur gear was gone. I mean, gone real quick. So definitely I got a hardened steel spur gear for mine, and not gonna have to replace that one. But yeah, guys, definitely, if you're thinking about it and you're thinking about one of the Traxxas 1/16 scale cars, the only two I would really recommend is the 1/16 E-Revo and the 1/16 Summit. The rest of them I think are a joke. Like, well, I don't know. I might get the Gymkhana Ford Fiesta or Escort, or the Ford Focus, or Fiesta, whatever it is, but just because of looks alone. But I mean, I don't think it has that great of a use, but I just think the car's cool looking, so I might buy it anyway. But you know, stay away from the 1/16 Slash. It's the piece of shit. The way they have it set up, this setup is not good for a desert truck, so, or a stadium truck. Desert truck. So just don't bother with the 1/16 Slash. I don't even know if they make it anymore. What else do they have out there in 1/16 now? Oh, they don't have those Boss 302s or something like that, the Mustangs or whatever. They're kind of cool looking, and but you know, if you're debating between one of the Traxxas 1/16 cars, get the E-Revo or the Mini Summit. They're both really cool. The Mini Summit's really cool looking too. It's just too bad Traxxas didn't put the lights and stuff on it like they have in the big one. They just kind of slapped a new body on the Mini E-Revo and called it good. Good job, Traxxas. Idiots. Anyway, get the car. If you're thinking about getting one, get it. Put the upgrades I said on it, and you will have a blast. Leprechaun79 saying peace. And so yeah, that sucked. I got a lot of requests to do a video. Alright, guys, what's up? That sucked too. Just sit here and play with myself, might as well. Alright. What's up, guys? Leprechaun79 here. It's been a while. I'm having the brushless motor in here. But oh yes, by the way, this is the VXL. It is the brushless version. They do make a brush version. And I think I just sharded, so I'll be right back.